Hello, my name is Min, and this is my pitch called Our Special Place. So, like, a lot of people, they have like their personal connections with a specific location, a specific area, like, or community. The reason why I chose this topic, it's really interesting to hear everyone's like stories and the way they can story tell their experiences of what happened at their special place, and basically like it tells a part of their personality, and it's really cool to hear the different locations and areas that everyone's been in. Like, it doesn't even have to be locations. It could be like someone's personal connection to an online community. The range is so massive and broad that it allows people to display their personality in a lot of depth, and that's really cool to hear. Like, and it might even, like, you never know where this video might get, like how big the audience may be able to see this video, but it might even push someone to, hey, like, oh, like, this person's like story at this place is really, really interesting, and I might even go there. Like, it's like, you never know, like, the world is, anything's possible. The main focus of this documentary is definitely going to be like personal interviews. The tone of like the documentary is going to depend massively on what kind of story they're telling. Like, it could be like, for me right now, when I talk about New Year's, it's very like lighthearted. It's very like looking forward to the future and stuff like that, versus something more personal, like and then the documentary takes a more serious tone. So yeah, so it just depends on that. The documentary definitely follows Bill Nichols' participatory mode, because the whole focus is interviews. Overall, the documentary is definitely gonna bounce between like myself narrating over questions about the topic, and then the interviews themselves, and obviously like capture all the scenery. And one thing I'll expand on later is try to film at the locations that these people are telling their stories. That could be like really massive as well. One of the inspirations I drew when I looked to other like videos or documentaries, there's this YouTube video, it's like around 6 or 7 minutes long. It's called A Place Like This. It focuses on a World War II veteran story about his experiences in war as a bomber pilot, and how he mentioned at the beginning that he wanted to own his very own garden, but never had the time to. One of the experiences was when he got shot out of the sky. He pulled out his chute around 1,000 feet above the ground, and he landed in this churchyard. And he remembered vividly that the churchyard had peach trees. And I think that relates back to him mentioning that he wanted to have his own garden ever since his early age. And the docu is filmed at I'd assume his own house, but specifically his own garden. It's very beautiful. It's a really simple documentary, but it strikes the heart really like powerfully, and it shows that how a simple docu can be so powerful to people's emotions. In terms of ethics, because this is a documentary focused on interviews, obviously before they can even get in front of the camera and conduct the interview, they'll have to give their permission and saying that, hey, like, I'm allowing myself to be interviewed and talk about my story. Obviously, and then for me, that I would disclose what this like documentary is for, what it's about, who I'm doing it for. Like, I'm doing it for a university project, stuff like that. And the main thing is I got to focus on is that, you know, they got to choose their own story. Like, I can't obviously guilt trip them into bloody telling a fucking like a serious story or something. Like, that'd be like I'd no go. So like, whatever, no matter how like boring or whatever the sound, it's their own personal story. It's what they relate to the most and what they can recall the most. And any story, like, because everyone's different. It's any type of story is going to be interesting. So it's all in their control. And I'm me, and if it goes on, my crew will like for sure be happy to conduct whatever they want, because that's the fun part of it, to hear all varying tones of interviews. Planning, obviously we first got to gather participants, try and gather participants to participate in videos like really early on, preferably, because we've got to schedule it to their convenience. The participants are taking time out of their day to help us conduct that documentary, so we're gonna position ourselves to be ready and schedule according to them. So as early as possible, because you never know like how busy, like maybe someone's going to be busy or something, you have to find like a last minute call up to cover for them. We try to aim for like a couple of different interviews, right? Because we want a different range of like stories to tell, to break up the contrast of like everyone's different. And more expanding on earlier that I mentioned that if I want to make all the stories get filmed at the location that the story was set in, obviously that's like the logistics of that is going to be like really damn hard. I'm not gonna make someone like travel with me. Let's say the story is like bloody 2 hours away. Like no, that's impossible. I'm not gonna do that. But if it's like local, like for example me with 19 Temple here, it's like really local. And if other person's like, it's their call, absolutely. If they're willing to do that, then like, that'd be like, absolutely fantastic. But it's not necessary at all, like for sure. Like it's the main priority is to make it as comfortable for the interviewee as possible. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with like interviewing at home or something. Like the main thing is the story. So, yeah. But it's just a bonus if you can like do it at the location. But I think that makes it a lot more like special. So yeah, crew roles. Obviously there's going to be a videographer, a sound designer, because if we are going to film at location, say in public, like right now where I am, and if it's like loud or busy or something, you need the microphone to be really up and close to their mouth to be able to hear them. So because right now I'm using on top camera mic, but there's no one around me. I mean, it's a very open spot, it's very quiet here, so I'm able to speak freely. But then if it's like say in the busy Sydney Plaza or something, like for example, you need definitely like a zoom mic to be in front of their mouth or something. So yeah, definitely like sound designer. Like we need to focus sound designer on that, and someone to edit it, to do the fun job of editing it all together, because there's going to be a lot of takes most likely with interviews. But yeah, we need to split the roles evenly and help each other out. Like probably like someone on the side to make sure everything's on track, like especially with like scheduling people's interviews, locations, stuff like that. If we need to cover travel, like we need to look at like time to travel to this area, stuff like that. Everyone to like meet up, availability. So yeah, for someone to keep track of everyone's schedules and stuff like that, it's like definitely a priority on the list of what people have to do. So yeah, in conclusion, that is my pitch. Just basically everyone talking about their personal stories that are connected to a location of some sort, whether that's an actual location like 19 Temple here, or something of like some sort of form, like an online community. Anything can be a personal story, because like that's what you're like most fond of. So yeah, I guess I'll see you later. Bye.